fixing your Sonic OCs. Now, of course, when I say I'm fixing them, I just mean I'm redesigning them in a way I would have designed it. And, of course, people can design things how they want. I don't really care. Just know that this is just for a video, and I'm not, bashing your OC's design, and the people who submitted their OCs gave me permission to do this. Anyway, here we go. This is Lake the Hedgehog's OC. I'm assuming the character's name is Lake the Hedgehog. There was no information given, but you seem to have a skater vibe going on, so that's what I went with. The design seemed inconsistent. You have, like I said, a skater vibe going on, and then you have these weird shoes. So I tried to fix it a little bit while staying true to the design, so it ended up looking a bit like Knuckles' shoes. So many Hedgehog OCs. Too many Hedgehog OCs out in the world. So I tried to make the quills unique, and just accentuated the directions of them. Now, as I've mentioned 3 times now, I went with a skater vibe, so I tried to give it things that were, oh my god, the voice crack! That were stereotypical to skating, like the elbow pads and such. Also, your OC wears a shirt and pants. I'm not sure if they're non-binary and that's why, but that's not really how Sonic characters work most of the time. Never have I ever seen a Sonic character wearing pants. Blaze does not count. So I changed the jacket to be a bit edgier to follow a consistent theme, and I got rid of the pants but gave him a shirt instead because I didn't know if your OC had any markings on its chest. I would never design a Hedgehog OC, let me start there, but for a Hedgehog OC, this one is relatively unique with the direction of the quills and the colors you chose, which is a bit refreshing, but I would still avoid Hedgehog OCs for future reference. I altered the colors of your OC to match better. You're welcome. You chose decent colors because they are complementary, but the shades you chose could use some improvement. I followed the skater vibe, giving it some edgy eyeshadow. So basically just change the whole vibe of your character. You're welcome, again. Made the eyes a bit lighter because, if I'm being honest, I would have made them a blue or a turquoise, but I didn't want to stray too far from your design. The amount of voice cracks that I have had in the past 20 minutes is gonna send me to the hospital. This is why you don't record when you're sick. Anyway, I changed the color to match a bit more. This is a nicer blue, objectively. Now, you always gotta be careful having gray in a design. I personally would not have had gray in this design, considering all the tones you used are mid-tone, and gray is the mid-tone! You want to have lights and you want to have darks. And so it just doesn't work too well with this OC, but like I said, I don't want to stray too far. So, following this rule, I made the shirt a bit darker, made it a black, and now you have some contrast! That's what you need in a character, you need contrast. Try to avoid mid-tones like gray and just any color that is not light, not dark. It is in the middle. That is a mid-tone. You do not want all of that in a OC. And voila, here's Lake the Hedgehog V2. Not too shabby. Oh my fucking god. Holy OPOC. Here is the description I received for Mac. Mac Corvino, 14 years old. He is part of a criminal family. He tries to help everyone he loves. Mac seems to have a lot of happiness and kindness, but deep down, there's the real Mac, the dangerous one. Oh, and Mac is Scourge's little brother.
What the fuck?
I'm not here to bash on your OC, but please, there's some editing that needs to be done with that description. Besides that, they were actually pretty fun to draw. Those, some messy quills aren't fun to draw, those swoops, I suppose. Another OC with earrings and an emo vibe, so I tried to stick to the real design, but, your colors could use some work.
An all-black outfit?
Let's be real, I know you wear that in real life, so do I, but your OC does not need to be that dead. You got them happy and filled with kindness, so that's the pose. I was just redrawing the one you, gave me. Yeah, on another note, if you have a reference and you use that type of background that is a whole bunch of colors,
Don't just stop it.
Give it a plain background, please. For a reference, you do not need all that there. Am I being mean? Perhaps. So I won't bash on this OC anymore. I later changed the sleeves because that doesn't look too good for an outfit. But, you can enjoy the rest of the line art without me talking. I've once again changed the color scheme. I think it makes a bit more sense in the end. I gave it a bit more life and just made more sense using a bright neon color. You didn't quite do neon, but a bright color like that is often eye-bleeding and I do not enjoy it, so I personally changed it. I gave your OC some pink. It could use more color, not just black, because having black on black does not often work. So I made the belt maroonish pink just to give it more life. You're welcome. You made the toe beans a darker color, but your skin color is white, so I made the toe beans white because that is how it works. Not that there are rules to this, but to me there are. So I changed it, and I added more white details onto the pants to match the shoes. So I think it turned out relatively well. Here, I don't usually color line art, but felt useful. Here's Mac V2. Kenneth, go grab me another beer while I redesign your OC. Now, as Kenneth's unlegal guardian, I have every right to make fun of him. You originally have this squirrel muzzle, but I changed it to match all the points you have in your design. And I changed Kenneth to have 1 forehead gem and not 3, because you do not want to overcomplicate your OC. I don't usually give my characters hair tufts like that, but I know you're a furry, so I'll allow it. Kenneth, This man sends me YouTube videos on Instagram. He DMs me about his school drama. Besides all of that, he's still my kid, so I can't bully him too much. He got this weird chessboard thing going on. It doesn't work too well, but I changed it to match the shape of the rest of the designs. So, I kind of just went with a bunch of spiky designs in yours because that's what's going on. You have fire. Fire is sharp in quotation marks. I can't fucking speak today. What the heck? This is your fault, Kenneth. Anyway, enjoy line art. Believe it or not, I once again changed the colors to make a bit more sense, but I was pretty true to the colors this time around, so there's not too much differences. I kind of lightened things, made them a bit less neon, despite it being fire. Everything got a bit of a redder shade, because the orange was not vibing, let me tell you. It really wasn't, but then the red wasn't vibing either, so I just kind of went in between and added some yellow. I darkened the red of the gem and the eyes to match said gem, and moved that along to the gloves and shoes. Kenneth, you do a good job of having consistent colors. A lot of people your age will make a rainbow OC, and that really pisses me off. You did a nice job with picking a color palette and staying with it. Especially with Sonic OCs, you want a limited color palette, and you want to reuse said color palette. So, kudos to you for that, Kenneth. I gave your shoes a spikier design to just sort of match fire, but basically the same. I was really lazy drawing this fire. I didn't want to go back over the other parts, but you know, it works out. I do think a gradual fade to the fire works, but also what you do have with just the whole tail being fire also works. And I gave the ears flame design as well. And here we are, Kenneth V2. Why are you all emo? Here is our fourth and final OC. I'm redesigning ZZ, the Australian Shepherd. Now, I really actually do like this design, but your colors are all over the place, man. So I figured I'd simplify it a bit because that is what you want in a Sonic OC. And I love the alt vibe, though. I'm gonna be real. It's a vibe. Here are my 3 rules that I follow when designing a character. Simple design, i.e., can you draw them once and remember it? Is there so much detail that you cannot even know where to begin when drawing them? No, you want a simple design. Simple works well in Sonic characters. Number 2, limit your colors to under 5 colors. Try to keep them similar. Try to have a contrasting color. And number 3, be unique. Choose a species that isn't done oftentimes. Design it in a way that, like I said, memorable, simple, unique. I moved the earrings to the other side since you had the scar on one side, and I didn't want to put both unique features on one side. That doesn't often work well. I wanted to keep all the spikiness you had, but this character looks kind, especially with the little doodle you gave, so it's important to also give them soft features, like the leg warmers I gave instead of the long boots. Kudos to your design, though. The huge zipper I am in love with and will be stealing. for a character of my own, that is a unique feature you have that it's pretty cute. Kept the bracelets. You did a pretty good job with the overall design. I think it's just the coloring that needed some help. And I shifted so that it's not random spots of purple and it's the underside of the character. For instance, the belly, the underarms, and I kept the half of the face purple. Whatever. Haha, I changed the colors again. I originally was going to make it lighter and then look back and realize that didn't work too well, so I actually made the yellow a bit darker, a bit greener to match a green and purple vibe since those are complementary colors. Changed the purple to be a bit pinker to also match that because pink and green go better than purple and green, in my opinion. I made the hair a bit purpler, a bit lighter. Purpler is not a word. Continued just coloring. I used the hair color to match with the clothes because, like I said, you want to limit the amount of colors and you want repetition. I ended up seeing that the blue with this whole color palette, it's not what you want, so I changed it to a gray because that is a neutral color that will work with this color palette, and I actually realized after I was done coloring that you made this the background color for your reference. So it works. I made the skin a bit lighter. I figured it just worked, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I forgot that it was darker, so I apologize for whitewashing your character. I changed some of the clothes so that the pink was in the top part with the zipper. I figured that worked instead of adding in a new blue color that, like I said, blue does not work with this character design. And yeah, the blues changed to grays, and I think that does look a lot better than having random blues, but I did give it a blue tint because the gray felt a bit off still. And this is why you limit the amount of colors you have in a character, because it becomes difficult once you have so many to organize them and make it look good. This OC does work well. I would just limit the colors. As I was talking about earlier, gray is difficult because it is a neutral tone, so I lightened it up a bit and works a bit better now. But here is ZZV2. Here they are, and thank you for letting me fix your OCs.